Hello and welcome to the Galblade News. The UK government has unveiled its blueprint for policing trade between different parts of the country after the post-Brexit transition period ends. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are set to be handed powers in areas such as air quality and animal welfare currently regulated at EU level. But in a bid to protect cross-border trade, they'll have to recognise standards drawn up elsewhere in the UK. The SNP says the plan would strip power from the Scottish Parliament. Since leaving the EU in January, the UK has continued to follow the bloc's customs and single market rules as part of a transition period due to end in December. The UK government has now set out which powers currently held by the EU it plans to take on and which will be given to devolved administrations. Under proposals to be set out in legislation later this year, Scotland and Wales will acquire new powers in areas including food labelling, support for farmers and energy efficiency. Northern Ireland, which will continue to follow many EU rules after the transition period ends, will gain an even wider range of powers, including in areas such as medicine, pricing and rail safety. The UK government has, however, said that devolved administrators will have to recognise the rules so as not to harm trade within the UK. In a policy paper, it says this will ensure a level playing field for all firms regardless of which UK nation they are in, to ensure a UK-wide internal market. Scottish Constitution Secretary Michael Russell said the proposals represented a power grab that would strip power from the Scottish Parliament. He added that the plan would enable the UK government to impose lower standards on Scotland in its bid to sign trade deals around the world after Brexit. He added our world-class reputation for high-quality food and drink would suffer from these proposals as the UK government embarks on a race to the bottom. Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove says the proposals represented a power surge to the devolved administrations in a number of areas. He pledged the government would work with devolved bodies to develop a new structure for how we can cooperate better and share our ideas. Business Secretary Alok Sharma said the plans were required to ensure trade between parts of the UK is not seriously impacted after the Brexit transition ends. The UK government is also set for a collision with the SNP lead Scottish Government over the regulation of public support for businesses known as state aid. Downing Street has insisted the power to vet support, currently done by the European Commission, should be taken on by the UK government from next year. But Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has previously said this would erode powers of the Scottish Parliament in key areas and amount to a full-scale assault and devolution. The Labour-led Welsh Government said any new rules governing trade would require independent oversight and dispute resolution. The spokesperson added that the UK government's policy paper had not been shared with Welsh ministers, who had had no recent discussions on the issues with UK ministers. Any attempt to unilaterally impose a system will be deeply damaging, they added. So my concerns on this is this actually just kind of argues for devolution even more. And I think in some cases, as someone who is from England, that's not, I'm not so bothered about that. You want to be split up, then very much do so. But then don't come crying to us when you actually lose your support. You need to consider, and this is the argument that lots of European Union members say, is there's a lot more of them than there are of you. This could be applied if you were to do a contest between England versus Scotland, England versus Wales, England versus Northern Ireland. There's a lot more of us than there are of you. That means more provisions need to be given to England in the point of view that spending per household is probably less in England than it is in any of the other devolved parliaments. The reason is they have to take care of more people. If you want to make this a sparring match, Nicola Sturgeon, First Minister, and Mark Drakeford, Welsh Minister, then I say bring it on. Because as an English person, it really doesn't bother me what you do. I have no intention of going to Scotland. I have no intention to go to Wales. I like England. And you need to consider that the population as a whole is much higher in England, and so therefore more resources need to be pulled down here than in your areas. Whatever you think, leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.